Well, hello. Welcome back to another exciting edition and a brand new year of Coffee with Stephen. Um, so, for this first blog of 2018, I want to revisit an issue that we talked about last week in regards to the ammunition sales going forward. Um, Not so much in the actual legislation or unfortunately, the regulations and the regulatory effect of purchasing ammo online and all the other nonsense associated with it. Instead, I want to focus on the unintended consequences of this type of behavior on the part of the state. In this particular blog, I focus on a single ammunition business, a guy up in Northern California who went through all of the proper procedures that the Department of Justice outlined that he had to do in order to obtain an ammunition vendor's license. Unlike us at Artemis, this individual is not an FFL. He doesn't sell firearms. And since ammunition has been unregulated throughout the course of his career, he was able to freely buy ammunition from his vendors and then resell them to the general public, including law enforcement officers. In any event, when the new legislation was passed and he had to get an ammunition vendor's license, he waited for the DOJ to get their act in gear. And finally, once they promulgated the procedures necessary, he went ahead and he went through the application process and did everything he was supposed to do. He was also told not to worry, that by the end of the year, he would receive his ammunition vendor's license. Well, as the end of the year crept up, he still hadn't received anything. In fact, he actually went to his sheriff and asked for his sheriff to intervene with the Department of Justice. The sheriff contacted DOJ, and DOJ said, not to worry, we're doing everything we're supposed to do. Well, if you guys have been to your local Walmart, one of the things that you can see now are pieces of paper that have been attached to the ammunition cases, essentially saying that as of this point, they are not allowed to sell ammunition to California residents. That is because they have yet to receive their ammunition vendor's license. Now, a company like Walmart has a whole bunch of other products that they can continue to sell. This poor guy up in Northern California, this is his business. And as of today, he has still yet to receive his ammunition vendor's license. DOJ's response when the sheriff intervened again just before this last weekend was to say, well, you misunderstood us. We didn't say that we were going to get the ammunition vendor's licenses transmitted to these individuals. We intend to do so with all deliberate speed, but it may take a while and they may have to shut their doors for a few days. That is unconscionable. To have the state sit on their hands to prevent an individual from legally being allowed to engage in commerce. If he owned a pot dispensary, that wouldn't have been a problem. The guy would be flying into business. But because he's selling this new product, something that's been around for literally hundreds of years, but DOJ has sat on their hands and have not provided him the necessary regulatory procedure, the necessary license in order to do it, this poor guy is essentially out of business. Now, the last update that I got today, just before I started filming this blog, is that he has essentially made the statement as of a few minutes ago that he's going to keep his doors open, that he's going to sell what inventory that he has, and if the Department of Justice wants to come in and arrest him, so be it. Well, we'll have to see how that one plays out. But for everybody that is as passionate as I am at the cause of freedom and the resistance to tyranny, this is an absolute classic example of the overreaching hand of government. In any event, guys, like I always say, and I will say throughout all of 2018, train constantly, train consistently, train with purpose. If you have any questions, always feel free to email me at steven@artemishq.com. And you guys, all of you, I hope you had a great new year and stay safe out there.